What's up guys, welcome back to another video. Now last week you guys didn't get any video and that is because the footage that I filmed was a little bit too bad. I wasn't happy with how the video turned out, so I just decided not to post it. So today I'm gonna give you guys a special video, a bike that has been requested for a very long time. It only appeared on the channel once and today is back with a very big build. You may guessed it, it is the bike of the shade. It is the Peugeot 103 Fox. I think it's a 103. Not really sure about it, but it's basically the same frame. So let's get it out and see what we're dealing with. So here it is, looks all standard. We got a little bit of a leak right here. We're gonna see what that is all about. But as you can see, it looks pretty standard. So let's take it out and start it up. So we took out the bikes and what I was thinking, maybe we should do a race between the Ciao and the Fox, see who is quicker. Now you could say it is a little bit of a, not a fair fight, because my Ciao is a 65cc and this is a 50cc, but my bike is a A-class. That means it is legally bound to 25 kilometers an hour. The Fox is a B-class. That means it is legally bound to 45 kilometers an hour. My Ciao is not really tuned correctly. There's a little bit of problem with the clutch. The Fox is pretty standard, not too much modifications. I mean, we took out the restriction of the exhaust and it runs a little bit crappy. It has a little bit of a hiccup in the middle. I think that could be the electric shock, because this is the deluxe version. It comes with electric shock and a starter. That could be a hiccup, but we will see. My Ciao, nothing really too fancy about it, but it sounds even better. But as you can see, a lot of smoke, not a lot of tuning. So we are gonna warm up the bikes. I'm gonna hit up the GoPro and then we're gonna do a little bit of a drag strip style pull and see what we're working with. Three, two, one. Rolling start. Rolling start on those, on that one, on pole. Okay. Winner of the drag race. Yeah. Winner of the rolling start. So I lost the race. I cannot say I'm not disappointed. I mean, it's a 65cc engine in mine. This is only a 50. Yeah, I'm a little bit disappointed, but it is what it is. This bike has a much better technology in it. Mine is like an old technology. So I know where the problem is. I know how to fix it, but we will see in the future what we will do with it. Before I tell you what we're gonna do with the Fox, we're gonna put it on the lift, start stripping it down, and when we have a more clearer view on what we want to do, I'm gonna tell you guys all about it. So let's just get it on the lift and start pulling stuff off of it. So here it is, the Fox all stripped down. And as you can see from this strut bar or reinforcement bar that I bought for the Ciao, you can practically see what we are gonna do. We are gonna change the Fox to a full racing Fox, but we are not just gonna do that. We're gonna do a lot of stuff on it, a lot of custom stuff. We are thinking, we brainstormed before, like moving the engine back a little more to stretch, not really the frame, but the whole bike. Put in new forks, clip-ons or whatever, what fork we can have. Tune the engine. We removed already some stuff. The starter is gone. The oil mixing with the gasoline stuff, everything that can break. We took off the old carb. We're not gonna need that. We're gonna put on a very large carb. I'm talking about 19, 21 or whatever. So a lot of custom stuff. Also some tuning with the CVT right here. We're gonna have to do a lot of stuff right here, trial and error, but that is gonna be for in a later stage. What we're now gonna do is remove the engine and check the cylinder, see what we find there. If we have any scratches, because the compression isn't that great. It has compression, but not enough. Also, it makes like a weird sound. Don't know if you guys can hear it with the mic right here, but it is strange. So I think there's something wrong with the reed valves, but we are gonna see that. We compared the frame of the Fox to my RCX frame right here, and it looks pretty similar. As you can see, I mean, the top part, they pretty much matched it, but on the other side, you can see this right here. This is where the kickstart is and whatever. Also the whole engine stuff is right here. Thinking about it, we could weld this frame on that bike. It looks pretty simple. It's just 3 mounting points. Well, one here, and of course the spring. We could do that. You can do a lot of stuff with a welder. So there's still a lot of stuff to do. We need to brainstorm and figure everything out. I removed the whole wiring loom, and I still have to figure out what can I delete, what I need to have to start the bike and run it and whatever. Because this bike is not gonna be street legal anymore. It's gonna be like a full racer bike. Don't know if we're gonna do a lot of racing because we have a lot of work, and to make the engine perform good enough to our spec, yeah, there's gonna be a lot of work ahead of us. We have no real timeline. We're just gonna do it what we can do and in the amount of time that we do it. But now we're gonna remove the engine, get the frame out of here, and start checking everything, because we don't want to weld the whole frame and get every single part and then see that the engine is broken or we have more cost on there. So let's remove the engine and see what we're dealing with. So as you can see, there's not much left of the Fox. We took everything off. the whole cylinder kit, intake, the whole wiring or the ignition system. It is all here, it's in the car, it's ready to be sold. If there are links to parts that we are selling, I'm gonna put them in the link in the description down below, but here is everything else. Like stuff we're still gonna need, and the whole CVT cover and kickstart and whatever. Not gonna need this oil tank, don't know what we're gonna do with that. Now we are ready to split the cases, and that is because we found a little problem. We hear some sounds in the crankshaft. There's a little bit of sideways play in the crankshaft arm, so the crankshaft needs to come out. We're gonna split the cases to check the bearings. I mean, if you are building a race bike, it's better to change the bearings right now and not wait when they are broken. Also, we found a little problem with the cylinder, or better yet said, with the piston. Here is the piston, and we saw a little bit of burning on its side, which is not a great deal, but this means it's losing compression on the side. And as we can see from the piston rings right here they are loose, but on this side they are wedged in there. Don't know if I'm gonna get them out, but they should come out of there. So we're gonna replace the whole piston. We looked at the cylinder wall, and as you can see, this still looks fine, a mirror finish. So we're pretty happy about that. We don't have to buy a complete cylinder kit. It's way too expensive. We're just gonna put in a new piston and make it work like that. Maybe later on we're gonna go for a 70cc or a 65cc, but for now we want to keep it 50. Don't get into the whole process of drilling out, grinding out and modifying the crankcase. We don't want to do that. We might do a little bit of adjustment, but not go a lot bigger. Try to keep it somewhat standard. But yeah, it's looking good. I mean, we didn't find any big problems. The crankshaft is somewhat a big problem. It's like 70 euros. To completely overhaul this engine, to make it like pristine quality, we're talking about 120 euros. So take that into consideration. It's not a lot of money. It's still money, but not a lot. Also, we need to replace the seals. As you can see right here, we have a little bit of a leakage. That made us wonder if the condition of the engine and the bearings was okay. So now we're gonna split the cases. To split the cases, you need to take off this whole assembly, which is a pain in the butt. This engine looks pretty dirty, but when it's gonna be cleaned up and all nice, shiny, bright metal, it's gonna look absolutely amazing. So yeah, let's crack on with splitting the cases. Hopefully everything goes smoothly and not a lot of trouble. So we're here back home, and as you can see, I already did some work on the engine case. I cleaned it up to see in what condition it is. Now, as I can see, it is in perfect condition, no issues with that. A little bit of markings where the crank is, but that shouldn't be any issues. As I can see on my table, there's a little bit of an oil leak right here where the whole clutch system connects to the wheel. There's a little bit of an oil leak, not too big of a problem, but we're gonna deal with that later on because there's still a lot of work to do on the frame and whatever. So we're gonna put that off to the side and maybe do that on a later stage when we have the engine complete and when the engine is completely back into the bike, relocated and totally welded on there. Now we're gonna have to order some new parts because there is a lot of wear and tear on the main bearings. They are totally shot. We cannot use them, too much play in them. The crankshaft moves up and down and whatever, so we don't want that. Also, we need to replace the crank itself. I mean, with the arm, there's a little bit of side to side movements, not like this, but just like this, and Of course, we don't want that. With the piston, I got the piston rings out and I started cleaning them and they look pretty fine. So we don't gonna need a new piston. Well, we're gonna buy a new piston, but we're not actually gonna put it in there. We're gonna try to use the old piston, but with new piston rings. The cylinder wall, no issues there. Everything looked nice and clean, no scratches or whatever. But not everything is certain right now. We're gonna see when we get all the parts, what we can use, what we cannot use, and what risk we are willing to take. If we just wanna say, hey, new piston, everything, we're gonna do that and use that other piston for another project. But for now, that is just the deal. Also, this is not my build, so I cannot really dictate. I can give advice to the shade, like you better use that, or you better do this, or reuse this. But at the end of the day, it's his decision. If he wants a new piston, we're gonna put in a new piston. If he says, hey, I wanna cut the cost a little bit, we're gonna put in the old piston. For me, it's not a big deal. I can make it work. So yeah, still a lot of work. I'm still gonna clean up the case a little bit. There is some casting marks still on there and I wanna get that totally smooth so we don't have any dirt buildup. As I can see right here, there's still some casting marks. I'm gonna file that away and clean up the whole case. It looks pretty clean right now, but it could be a little bit cleaner. I mean, in the little crevices, there still is some dirt right here, but I have to get my Dremel out and yeah, work that out. But I'm pretty happy with this build. I hope you guys are enjoying this. I hope you will stick to the end when we get the engine back running again and get the whole different style of bike that we want to get out of it. I mean, the Fox looks pretty standard, but what we want to do looks pretty awesome. Me and the shade exchanged some drawings and it's gonna look pretty nice. It's not gonna look as a Fox anymore. It's gonna look like a proper race bike. So that is gonna be it for this video, guys. Hope you enjoyed it. Be sure to leave a like and a comment down below. Follow me on Facebook, Twitter and on Instagram. And if you are not already subscribed yet, subscribe to the channel. I really appreciate it and I will see you in the next one.